In this video, we tell you the untold stories of Tanya Roberts while showing you some of her rare photos. You might know Tanya Roberts for her notable Hollywood success, but did you know it also turned into her greatest unbecoming? She publicly regretted being a Bond girl, and on her deathbed, she left a note that read that she had nothing to live for. Why did Tanya Roberts, in her will, insist that none of her wealth got to members of her family? Let's find out. At age 15, Tanya dropped out of school and got into an illegal marriage with her school crush. She would spend the rest of her teenage years jumping on free rides with her husband with the hope of making it big as a photo model. Roberts soon got employed as a dance tutor for Arthur Murray, and she supported this with the money she made from modeling gigs. Around that time, Tanya was also studying acting under Lee Strasberg and Uta Hagen. Her parents grew tired of her rebellion, so they annulled her marriage, and as Tanya confessed, that was how she got her survival instincts. Her parents had hoped that this would make their daughter come back to her senses, but they were wrong. Tanya was going to break their hearts again the following year. In 1974, Tanya met her future husband, Barry Roberts, in a line outside of a movie theater, and after a few months, she proposed to him, and they got married. We're not sure if her parents gave their blessings this time, but we know that they would let her be for her life. Maybe that was why Tanya would refuse to share her wealth with them. Tanya transitioned into acting after modeling after being featured in TV ads like Excedrin, Ultra Bright, and Cool Ray sunglasses. She had her screen debut in the 1975 horror film The Last Victim. The movie performed relatively well, but Roberts knew that she was going to need more than this if her plan to dominate the industry was going to work. With the influence of her husband, Barry Roberts, Tanya was going to move a step up on the ladder of fame. The couple moved to Hollywood, and there, Roberts was cast in the 1971 The Private Files of J. Edgar Hoover. She was also cast in Fingers, Tourist Trap, Racket, and California Dreams. These were all impressive features for an amateur in the industry, but the real magic happened in the summer of 1980. In 1980, Tanya was going to beat over 2,000 candidates to replace Shelley Hack in the 5th season of Charlie's Angels. The producers had hoped that her presence in the series would revive the show's falling ratings and save it from cancellation, but they were disappointed. After 7 months, the show was canceled, and Tanya was prepared for her next adventure. The next time Roberts got the attention of the public was when she was featured in the 1982 adventure fantasy film The Beastmaster, which would later become a cult film. Tanya was getting addicted to the new attention she got from her audience, and she was willing to go to any length to keep it going. So that same year, Roberts forced her way into the Playboy Mansion, and she posed for a nude pictorial to promote her film. Also, after a few months, she appeared on the cover of the October 1982 issue. Roberts appeared in the 1984 fantasy film Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. For this role, Tanya was required to take on a male character, and the results were disappointing. The film was a box office failure, and Tanya would get a nomination for Worst Actress at the Razzie Awards. The next big thing for Tanya Roberts was when she was called up as the Bond girl in the 1985 spy film View to a Kill. This looked like a blessing, especially considering that it seemed like a revival of Roberts' dying career, but she was going to regret this for the rest of her life. The first choice for the Bond girl role was Priscilla Presley, but the film producers couldn't work it out with her, so Tanya Roberts became the next victim. Roberts saw the future, and when she tried to avoid the mistakes it brought, her agent was going to seduce her right into it. Bond girls were the rave of the industry, and almost every actress wanted the experience at least once in their career. Every actress except Tanya. Oh god, every girl who has ever been in a Bond movie never has a career afterwards, Tanya confessed. This was the reason she refused their contract, but with constant pressure from her manager, she was going to give in. Just like she predicted, after the film, her career suffered greatly. Tanya tried to spice up her career with a little show of her body, but that didn't work as it had before. She struggled to find roles, and she could only score acts in B-movies like Night Eyes, Legal Tender, and Sins of Desire. Tanya kept trying to measure up to her old glory in the industry, but unfortunately that never happened until she was kicked out of the industry in the most tragic way. Tanya Roberts abandoned her career in 2001 to nurse her husband, who had become terminally ill. But in the end, she couldn't save either of them, her husband and her dying career. Tanya Roberts as a sex symbol was easily the center of attraction wherever she went, and this made it very difficult to find real love. Her one true love story was cut short by her mother, who annulled her marriage to force her to return home. And the next time she would find something similar, death was going to snatch him away from her. Barry and Tanya shared a special connection. Their love story started when Tanya went down on one knee and asked Barry to be her husband in a substation. They were together for 32 years before his unfortunate demise in 2006. He died of encephalitis, a condition that is characterized by the inflammation of the brain, usually due to an infection. For a marriage with such a controversial start, Barry and Tanya went on to prove their love to naysayers. When asked about the secret of her happiness in her marriage, Tanya revealed that they were people of common beliefs. "Barry is my best pal," she said. "I'm not really sure, but we don't celebrate anniversaries. I feel it only leads to a divorce. We're both physical people and we have similar interests." The couple did not have any children, and Tanya never revealed the reason for that. Many people just assumed that the couple spent so much time working on their careers that they couldn't focus on growing their family. After Barry's death, Tanya found love again with Lance O'Brien. He was with her for 18 years until she passed away. Tanya was also rumored to have also shared a thing or two with Egyptian film producer Dodi Fayed. It was supposed to be a casual walk with her dogs on Christmas Eve, but the next time Tanya would open her eyes, she would be in the hospital bed. This was just immediately after the COVID-19 pandemic. So when they ran a few tests on her, they discovered that it was not the virus, but rather a urinary tract infection that had advanced to sepsis. Many organs in her body were failing at a fast rate, and within a few weeks, she needed a ventilator to breathe. The hospital restricted her boyfriend from seeing her due to COVID-19 guidelines, and Lance would describe it as the most devastating period in his life. By the third day of January the following year, her condition had gotten even worse, and the doctors had to take her off life support. Only then was Lance allowed to visit, and he was with her until her final moments. She died on January 6, 2021 at age 71. In a handwritten will, Tanya wrote that she wanted Lance to have her $3 million estate and pension money, even after writing, "I know you don't love me." According to page 6, Tanya specified that she wants none of her possessions to go to her sister Barbara or her nephew Zach. Tanya might have died without being all she wanted, but the actress left an enduring legacy in the industry with her talent and contributions to film and television. At the time of her death, she had an estimated net worth of $10 million. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos of beautiful women from the yesteryears on the end screen.